Hi, I'm Chip Hart. Today on the Guitar Hacker, we're going to talk about the Martin SC-13E. It's about 5 years in for this model. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And on the Hack of the Day, we are going to look at how and why you might adjust this neck joint. It's all happening today on the Guitar Hacker. So today we're talking about the Martin SC-13E. This is my SC-13E. I've had it for about 2 years and I really like it, but there's a number of things about it that I wish they had done differently. So first of all, let's just take a look at it from stem to stern. Okay, so here we have the SC-13E. The peg head is the typical Martin canoe paddle. It's got open back tuners that are really nice. They work well. This one is made in Mexico, by the way. And it's got a ebony fretboard, which is really nice. And it's a lot better than that rich light stuff that they've been pandering about with some of the less expensive guitars. Got a mahogany, I believe, neck. I didn't think they listed it on the website as to what it was. They just said it was hardwood, but anyway, it's a nice, slim, easy to play neck. It's got these adjusting Allen screws that are, I will talk about on the Hack of the Day. It's got this bolt-on neck that kind of almost looks like a Strat or something like that, the way it's attached on there, but it's got an interesting feature inside of it. It's actually got a dovetail joint that's horizontal as opposed to vertical, like a dovetail joint usually would be. It's got a kind of an interesting little blue dot on the fretboard at the octave, and then it's got a rosette that's that same color blue. I think it looks nice. It's got this weird bracing thing on the inside that's an X, and that to me just kind of seems dumb. I'll talk about that later when we talk about the downsides of this. And then the body shape in the lower bout is bigger, and that does make it have a lot more projection acoustically. It is a louder guitar and a nicer sounding guitar than a Taylor 412 that I've got that is similar in size. The Taylor 412 is just about maybe an inch smaller on the lower bout. So anyway, and in my particular guitar, I actually bought it used at Guitar Center. It's got LR Baggs Anthem preamp on it instead of the sound hole preamp and tuner that you have on the standard model from Martin. I like this a lot better, and I'll talk about that when we review the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then for the standard tuner slash preamp, you have the battery case back here, which is really nice. A lot better than having to go inside and look at it that way and pull the battery out that way. So the hack of the day today, this neck and its adjustment, it has 2 screws on it that are just a 4mm hex head kind of thing, the Allen wrench, and you loosen these 2 guys up and it loosens that dovetail neck joint in there up, and you can actually pull the neck completely off, because as you see, again, it's like a Strat where it's just slid in there, and that's kind of neat. But again, is it a solution in search of a problem? How often do you really need to adjust the neck? What you do to actually adjust the neck is there's shims that you can put in there that decrease the angle just slightly, and there's 8 of them you can buy in a kit from Martin, and I will talk about that in the rest of the video. But You loosen that guy up, you loosen this neck up, you can pull it off. You can also go in there and adjust. There's an Allen wrench in there where you can adjust the intonation. You can actually slide this neck back and forth, which is unique on an acoustic guitar. But how often do you need to do it? Do you really, I mean, do these things go out of intonation very much? It's never seemed to be a problem for most people. But I guess if you're, you know, if you're a big time tone snob, it might make a difference, or a really great guitar player. And then you have the truss rod in here. So you would need a longer Allen wrench than this in order to adjust the truss rod, or to do these guys. These guys should be done with a torque wrench, because you don't want to tighten them up too much. And I'll talk about that in the next part of the video. So anyway, that's the hack of the day. Again, I don't see that there's going to be that much need to do it, but it's kind of neat, the fact that you could do it as a user. So, looking for a verdict on this guy: the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, it plays really well. It sounds great. It's easy to play. The action is nice, and the neck is really comfortable. So I think that's the most important thing. It's one of my favorite guitars. It sounds great acoustic, and with this Anthem pickup, it sounds great amplified too. So the good, the bad, and the ugly, that's the good. The bad, the pickup that comes with it, I think you're going to want to take off and replace with something like this. There are many comments online, you can see them. The tuner really reacts slow. You hit a note and it's like 2 seconds, and then the note comes up on the tuner. It's just not good. And there are a lot of people that say it sounds kind of tinny and doesn't project very well. So the pickup's not so good. A few other things: there's this X bracing on the inside, on the back. It's kind of like it's a laminate thing. Why do you need a lot of bracing? Taylor doesn't even put bracing on it at all. The neck, here's a real bone I have to pick with Martin on that. It's kind of like a come on man kind of thing, where you can get the kit to adjust the neck, but it's $150. And that's a lot for 2 long Allen wrenches. One of them is a torque wrench, and 8 shims. And it also has a string gauge, but you can get one of those for $5 or $10, no problem. But the 8 shims are kind of the only unique thing about this kit, and they want $150 for it. So like I said on the hack of the day, I think the neck thing is a solution in search of a problem. And a bit of a red flag, and it was for me when I was buying these, because I was seeing them out there too, is that there's a lot of them out there used, available. If you look on the Guitar Center used webpage, there's 20 of them out there right now, as opposed to doing a search on D28s, which are so common. There's probably 50 D28s out in the wild for every SC-13E. There's only 24 D28s out there for sale. So, I mean, D28 is a great guitar that not too many people will sell, but there are a pretty high number of these out for sale on the Guitar Center website. So you might search that and take a look and see if you can find one, maybe with the pickup swapped out like this one already was. But anyway, that's my verdict. It's a good guitar and I love it. I'm going to keep mine, and if it were to get destroyed tomorrow, I would end up getting another one, I think. So that's my verdict. So, quick conclusion. As I was saying, I think that the SC-13E sounds better than this Taylor 412. And the Taylor 412 is a much older guitar. It's really worn in. And it was one of my favorite guitars too. But the SC-13E sounds better than it, even though the Taylor has solid back and sides. I like this guitar, so I would not hesitate to check it out if you're at Guitar Center. That's all for me. This is Chip Hart signing out. Please hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.